there is this difference between fear and being careful. So be careful and do not be scared. And of course, keep in check your mental health as well. Keep talking to your mental health professional as well, so that available you can make the list of all the emergency contacts. This time, financially helping somebody is, it's not less than literally helping somebody to survive.
Hello and welcome to our first AMS session of this year, that is on how to use our brain to fight the pandemic. And we all are, aware of the situation currently going on. And the coronavirus is not just affecting us physically, but it is also affecting us mentally. And it is very difficult to not let the pandemic affect our mental health, and that is why we all are here to have some insights on how to use our brain, how to train our brain to fight the mental health issues during the pandemic. And now the task of introducing our guest and speaker for today, it is a great privilege for me. We have with us Miss Abhilasha Agarwal. Welcome to this session, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sakshi.
About ma'am. She is a clinical psychologist, and I want her to brief us about her educational achievements and the expertise. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you so much for inviting me today. And it's a great opportunity, to talk about all these issues going on right now. Okay, so I'll introduce myself, and Sakshi already have introduced my name and also my designation. So basically, about my education, I completed my master's in 2014 in clinical psychology, and after that, I did MPhil in clinical psychology, and I completed it in 2018. And since then, I'm into practice. So I've been associated with some private clinics here in Jaipur, and currently I'm running my own OPD clinic with the name of The Beautiful Mind in Jaipur only. So that is all about my practice and education so far. Also, I'm pursuing PhD as well. So yeah.
That's just great. It's just great. Okay, so without taking much time, we'll start posing the questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first and top voted question is how to cope up with the feeling of fear rising due to another wave of coronavirus.
Sakshi, first of all, I would like to tell each and everybody that I know this is very difficult time, and it's just not like, oh, like some people are suffering. It's like whole country is suffering. Every individual is suffering. It doesn't matter if you have, coronavirus or not, if you're infected with it or not. But then still, somewhere people who are infected, they are fighting with the virus itself, and people who are not, they are fighting with the fear. So first of all, I would like to tell that there is this difference between fear and being careful. So be careful and do not be scared, because of course, as we all know that there is this connection between mental health and physical health. Okay, so definitely whatever type of reaction our brain, our mind, in whatever way our mind reacts, somewhere it affects our immune system as well. So I would like to request everyone to try to not to get panic when of course you get news like this, that okay, someone of your known is affected or is infected. So try to remain calm and think about possible things or solutions, or maybe ways via which you can prevent yourself, rather than just talking about or thinking about the cure. Because as we all know, this is the situation where medical emergency is happening all over the country. So we don't have beds, we don't have much resources or oxygen cylinders and so far, like that. So definitely I would like to say that prevention is the cure right now. And also try to keep yourself relaxed and engaged with some of the activities which gives you much as automatic towards preventing yourself and your loved ones. So relaxation is the key this time.
Great. So the next question is how can I use my brain to fight the pandemic? The most important.
See, of course, brain, the more your brain is relaxed, I guess the more you will be able to fight with the pandemic. Also, because this is something situational, so the only thing we can do is, keep our I've been seeing, a lot of these things, lists of hospitals, lists of, contact numbers of people who are providing oxygen cylinders. So I think everyone should or need to have these informations, these contact numbers with themselves, where, keep yourself ready for the pandemic situation, where, even if like, of course, we hope that, okay, nobody gets infected or something, but then this is something situational, so definitely anything, anytime, anything can happen. So try to keep that information with you, like what all hospitals are available in your nearby area, and keep talking to your medical health professional as well, like family doctors. Keep taking advices from them on a regular basis, means like once or twice a week, and keep following the advisories they have been providing. And also try to follow what government is saying, that okay, about home remedies, about how to stay at home, and how and what are the safety measures you need to take while going out and coming back. Keep sanitizing, all these things. So I think all these things we already know, because 2020 taught us all these measures already. So I think we need to just keep revising them and keep following them as much as we can, and that is the only way to fight with it. And of course, keep in check your mental health as well. Keep talking to your mental health professional as well, so that along with your physical health, you are taking care of your mental health as well.
So the next question is, I get anxious when I hear someone close to me is infected. How to deal with this situation?
Yeah, everybody, all of us, because even in my family, people are getting infected. Some people are on ventilator, and it scares the hell out of me, frankly speaking. But then, as I said, we need to keep ourselves calm as much as possible, because just imagine that you are in a situation where already pandemic is there, and panicking or getting anxious would, add on into this. So obviously, if you are calm, if you are relaxed, and do you can do one thing. You can just like I said in the previous question also, you can make a list of all the hospitals available. You can make the list of all the emergency contacts you are you might need in the if anyone gets infected. And also all those things which are required right now to fight with the pandemic. And of course, anxiety depends on so many conditions. For example, if you are watching too much of the news, then also you may get anxious. If if you get to hear somebody is getting infected or has already gotten infected, then of course you may get anxious. So of course, take your time, okay? Because this pandemic or this illnesses or this disease is such that we cannot even go and physically help someone, right? So always remember that. Try not to do that, because sometimes out of that excitement or maybe enthusiasm, or maybe the fear, of course, makes us do those things where we are physically going and trying to help the person. Try not to do that. Of course, I know there must be some situations where you will have to do it, but as much as you can avoid it, try to help the person by maybe some calls, maybe some contacts where you are calling the doctor and maybe the ambulance directly, and sending the all the necessary measures to the person's house. But you don't go there, because of course if you go there, you'll get infected for sure. So definitely try to maintain the physical distance from all the people around, and from people whom you know that those are already infected. So of course, those anxieties and everything, this is something inevitable or something we cannot stop, because of course a little bit anxiety will be there in you. But then, as I said, keep checking, keep talking to your mental health professionals, just to make sure that if this anxiety is normal or going towards abnormality. Because of course, normally anxiety sometimes helps us to deal with the situation like fight and flight response. But when it converts into normal abnormal anxiety, then of course it will definitely have another add-on issues in your mental health. So try not to get severely anxious, but yeah, normal anxiety is okay. And then of course, as and when you are anxious, again think about the possible solutions, not about the problem. You already know that the person is infected. Now think about what you can do, not what already happened. So yeah.
Okay. The next question is, I keep sanitizing everything very frequently. Is it a symptom of OCD?
Hmm. See, of course, OCD, we cannot necessarily say that this could be OCD, but yeah, this is something which happens in OCD. But as I said, this is the requirement or demand of the situation currently. So definitely we need to do this. But again, OCD is a disorder where you keep having repetitive unwanted thoughts, images, or impulses to your mind, and after having those, of course, you'll get anxious. And sometimes people have compulsions, but not all people have compulsions. So definitely, just only this factor that you are washing your hands again and again would not make you fall under the diagnostic criteria of OCD. Definitely there has to be other things as well, like you have like these, as I said, unwanted thoughts, or maybe some people have this tendency to develop OCD, okay, in regard of pandemic thing as well. So try to observe yourself that if you had all these issues earlier also, or is it happening after the pandemic has started, after after the government is saying so. So definitely all these things can discriminate you having OCD or not having OCD. And the best thing you could do is again check with your mental health professional, because they are the only expert who can actually tell you if you are developing OCD or not. Because yes, you can develop, maybe not right now, but maybe afterwards, because of the fear of uncertainty and anxiety, and fear of getting infected, like contamination, fear of contamination definitely could develop slowly and gradually. So definitely that is why I keep saying that keep checking your mental health with the mental health professional, so that they can keep guiding you accordingly, and you can prevent yourself from not only pandemic but other conditions which are associated with it.
Next question is, the financial crisis and health of my family are stressing me out. How to cope with it?
I again understand this difficult situation. Of course, everybody is facing the financial crisis, because this is not just that it started in 2021, but I think it is like it's been there for more than a year now. So definitely we all have come down, in terms of finances. So, and I understand that again scares the hell out of us sometimes, that okay, how will we survive and things will happen. The fear of uncertainty, the worst part is we don't know what will happen. This is the worst part. And of course, even if I keep thinking about this, of course, this will, create some anxiety symptoms in me as well. So definitely, the first and foremost thing is that try to, keep try to do savings more than how you are spending right now. Because I see that in in March and January we became very lenient and we started spending again. I could see a lot of people who were going out and having fun. So see, we don't know, even if for one a month or 2 months, if we get again if we can see that okay, the cases are decreasing again in number. Again, I would request all of you that until unless corona and this pandemic is completely over, try to save your money as much as you can, because you never know what will happen, what can happen. And anytime, of course, if the number increases again, definitely again this situation may come where you are again restricted in your own house and you're not allowed to go out. So definitely in that period of time, that saving, that money you saved will actually help you. And of course, try to limit your needs, okay, as much as possible, where you are just spending on the very much required things like your edible items, okay, your day-to-day items. Try not to spend where you don't need it but you want it. So there is difference between wanting something and needing something. So I would like to just request people to try to spend your money only for the items you need right now urgently, not the items you want. And the more if you can save your money more and more, I mean as much as possible, that would be really really great. And even if for 1 month or 2 months, if the number decreases and again if you know if you see any relaxation from the side of government, try again not to spend or start spending your money that okay in like people are partying or chilling. Of course don't, of course do that, but not overdo that, because that's what happened I think in Feb or March, in January I guess, where because numbers were in decreasing, so that is why we thought that it is gone, and having or living our life as if coronavirus was never there. And then we were, I could see lot many people coming out and on, partying and everything. Of course that is also important, but not overdoing that, because of course that money which with which you are partying, maybe that can save you someday if you really need it. So definitely try to save it as much as possible. Also, when it comes to the families condition, of course we all have so many needs right now, and then when we think that okay lockdown is going to happen, or we need to buy so many products, so many things, so of course that is something we cannot avoid. But as I'm saying that whole family now needs to contribute here, where like don't, it's just not like only one person has to cut down on their needs, but all of us, okay, as together as a team, we need to survive. The survival is the need right now. So definitely understanding that point of view and then spending the money. Don't waste your money basically on things you do not need at a particular moment. So of course, all keeping all these things in mind, you can definitely deal with the pandemic in a very healthy way. And of course, I would request people who are financially stable right now, keep helping those who are not, because of course this help will be remembered whole your life, and the person will show that gratitude to you, because this time of financially helping somebody is, it's not less than literally helping somebody to survive. So that definitely I would request everyone. And of course keep a boundary also when you are helping, because don't help where you are getting exhausted. So of course keep a boundary where as much as you can, where your budget allows, howsoever you can keep helping those people. And definitely like when it comes to all these people who don't have even shelter and all those things, so try and feed these people, because the all the sources where these people used to get food from, maybe they are all closed, so they have nowhere to go and feed themselves. So try and keep helping as much as you can in this pandemic situation, because see, it's not that you have to save yourself, it's like you have to save yourself, your family, your even your colony, your street, your like responsibility is on you, that okay save yourself. And if then you have energy, you have resources, then also help others as well, because we cannot just think about ourselves right now, but of course keeping and maintaining the physical distance, keep helping others as well.
Yeah. Okay, moving further, the next question is, what are the possible mental health problems I may face in pandemic?
Hmm. Well, the first and foremost is anxiety, because the fear of uncertainty is there. Depression to some extent, because of course some people are getting hopeless, because I could see that some people lost their jobs in 2020 and still they are jobless, which is a very very great, especially when it comes to feeding their own family, and they're not able to, because of course we do not have, nobody saves money keeping in the mind that for 2 years or 3 years we can use this. Definitely depression is there. And then again the one we already talked about, OCD, obsessive disorder, anxiety of or fear related to the contamination or infection is there. Then of course marital problems are also there, because people are spending too much time together, especially newly married couples, or maybe couples who were already like married from like 10 years or 5 years, but still earlier people used to go to office, and females used to get busy with their own housework, maybe or office work. So of course couples used to get time, okay, outside also with outside people. So of course conflicts were lesser. And but now, because you are spending like 24 hours together, because everybody is working from home, so definitely marital conflicts are also there, family issues are also there, because people have returned back to their houses, their homes, their hometowns. So definitely like everybody is enjoying the joint family kind of vibes right now. So that is why also creating more issues. And Yeah, so I think these are the major issues which I am also coming across as in my practice. So these disorders I can see in people, which if people have already been having these, then of course these are increasing. And if nobody had this, I mean somebody who hasn't had anxiety, depression, so even those people are complaining that okay, I'm having this fear or maybe anxiety symptoms, or yeah, so these are the conditions I think people are having more right now.
Okay, the next question is how to be mentally fit in the period of pandemic.
Mental fitness definitely would come when if you try to, I mean, it's upsetting that how work from home makes us very lazy. But we think that okay, just because we don't have to go anywhere or office or market because government is not allowing us, so let's keep laying in bed, let's keep sitting. So physically we have become very inactive, and always remember this: physical inactivity will also lead to mental inactivity. Now people are getting lazier. People don't want to work, or I mean these are the people who were always on the run earlier, but same people are they feel like we don't feel like doing anything. Remember always that your inactivity will definitely be unhealthy for you in this pandemic. So I would request everyone to keep up with their routines. Okay, get up early in the morning as you were earlier. Okay, try to have a balanced routine where you are not only completing your assignments, your work related to your job, but also you are helping your people who are working in the house, like females or maybe children or yourself. So try to have a balanced routine where you are doing almost everything. You are having a me time as well, you are enjoying also, you are working also. So I think uh, doing all these things will only going to make you mentally fit. And try to spend some family time as well, try to play games, try to divert yourself from the situation which is having right now. Because of course if you focus more on the pandemic and corona and all these things, it will just make you anxious. Because I think whatever measures, safety measures we need to take, we are already aware of it. Of course government, whenever if we need to add on in the list, they will tell us. But until then, whatever whatever you have in hand, keep following. And then try to have a balanced routine. And also do regular exercise along with meditation or yoga. Because of course this is really important in this situation, to keep your mind calm and relaxed and working and healthy. And have a balanced diet, do not overeat just because you are at home. Just don't do that. And again, try to have balance in each and everything you are doing. Because yes, I can see lot many people who are overworking because they are at home. But don't do that. If you have a 9 to 5 job, try to work till 5 only, and after that try to have your own maybe family time, or maybe some helping is required in the house and in domestic affairs. So try to again do each and everything in a day which you were doing earlier. Just if the pandemic is there, if work from home is there, let not all these things affect you. So that's what I want to say about this.
Okay, so balancing is the key, we can say.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Next question is how to train our mind to deal with uncertainties as we are facing
Hmm.
many of them.
Yeah. So of course, first try to understand what is the fear in your mind. Because I think pandemic is common, but uncertainties in everybody's mind could be different. Like somebody's facing this uncertainty of job, somebody in terms of finances, somebody in terms of health, somebody in terms of something else. So try to understand what your mind is trying to tell you, or what is coming in your mind as a negativity, as a negative thought. So definitely try to deal with it in a rational way, rather than keep believing all the irrational things. For example, if your thought says that okay, you'll get infected, so yes, this is something assumption thing, I could say. And we cannot surely say that yes, of course you'll get infected. See, if you take all the safety measures, I don't think you'll get infected. Second thing, even if you get infected, it's okay. First of all, watch. First of all, observe yourself. It's not necessary that you will get, severely diseased or severely sick. This is just not necessary. So just try to tell yourself that, okay, I am taking all the safety measures, okay, not to prevent myself and my family. Second thing, even if I get infected, then what I can do in the situation. So as I said earlier, that again focusing on the solution rather than on the problem, because of course uncertainties and fear and anxiety will only come if you just get a problem, if your approach is problem focused. Because we are thinking like what, how, where, why, all these things. What I am saying is try to focus more on the solution, that okay, if it happens, then what would be your next step, right? And as much as possible, try to have this physical distance with, if you see any kind of symptom in yourself, separate yourself immediately. Get yourself tested via this medical doctor or something, so that of course you will be certain about that, okay, you are having this condition. And of course, as I said, relaxation, balance, all these things are going to help you. So if you are not getting panic, if you are not just getting that scary thing in you, of course you will be able to deal with it. And there are so many things, of course, you can do about when it comes to deal with the pandemic. So definitely uncertainty is there, and I think everybody is facing that. But dealing with that uncertainty thing in a rational way will help you a lot. So I think second point I would like to tell each and everybody, please go and get your vaccination done. Because of course rumors were there, they were getting spread. But then right now it is very much clear from the doctors itself that people who are vaccinated, they are getting infected, no doubt, but they are not coming in the severe zone. They are having symptoms that too very mild, and some people are not even getting symptoms, they are completely in the asymptomatic zone. So after, I think on the 1st May itself, from 1st May, I think people who are above 18 are eligible to go and get their vaccination done. So I request all of you to please go, who all are above 18, and get your vaccination done. Because trust me, this vaccine is literally helping, be it Covaxin or Covishield, it doesn't matter. Whatever you are getting, just get it done. And then you will, it doesn't mean, yeah, so it doesn't mean that because you are vaccinated you can go out without mask and do whatever you want. No, don't do that. Vaccination is just to help you to fight with the virus if it is coming or entering your body. Like, it is not the license to go out without mask, or basically invite the virus into yourself. So definitely don't do that. Just try to maintain the distance and all the safety measures which have been advised by the government. And then of course encourage other people as well. And all if you come across any misconception about a vaccine in anybody, so definitely try to remove all those misconceptions and myths, because there is nothing like the vaccine is killing people, or all those myths are actually myths. So definitely don't believe that, and go and get your vaccination done as soon as possible.
Definitely. Okay, moving further is how to manage excessive worry which keeps interrupting me in daily activities.
Hmm. I think here, because again we are working from home, so we are not planning as we used to earlier. So I would like to tell you that make a to-do list, okay, for each and every day, where you are actually listing out that, okay, these all activities I need to complete today, only for today, not for tomorrow, or for a week or something like that. But then try to have these to-do list each and every day, so that you can feel that activity, that that sense of being active in you. That will definitely help you, because sense of completion maybe, or sense of this thing, satisfaction will be there in you, that okay, you are doing something. And again, as I said, just try to focus on what you can do and how your life is and what all duties you have to perform when it comes to like everyday performance, and keep doing that. Whatever happens, whatever have to happen will happen, and you can't just stop that. So just do not get inactive in that fear or in that uncertainty, because of course if you are active, if you are, see, because that immunity has a very strong play or strong role in fighting with the virus. So definitely your immunity will be stronger if you are continuously working physically and mentally. So definitely if you get inactive, of course your immune system will also get affected because of that. So definitely keep working, keep completing your pending tasks, keep helping others, keep performing your duties, okay, towards your domestic affairs, and also keep whatever basically is required, keep doing that. Just don't get inactive, because definitely after maybe 2 months you will see a lot many changes in you, where you might develop certain physical conditions because of being inactive for so long period of time. So don't do that, and try to keep yourself active physically, mentally, in both the ways. So that will only help you in dealing with the, because of course when your mind is engaged somewhere, so you will not have unnecessary unwanted thoughts of this pandemic and corona. But if you are sitting like this idle doing nothing, of course all those negative thoughts, all those worrisome thoughts will definitely automatically come to your mind. So keep yourself engaged in all the things which makes you happy, along with the things which are required to do or to get done. Yeah.
Procrastination is not going to help us.
Exactly. Do not procrastinate just because we are working from home.
Okay, so the next question is how to deal with loneliness in quarantine.
Yes, loneliness is something definitely people need to learn to deal with. See, of course, we cannot meet physically with people, but definitely we can be in touch with them like via chats or via video calls or audio calls. So I would say that, okay, keep doing that, okay, more often, quite often, whenever you get time. Whenever, just like I said, plan your day in such a way where, for example, you have 9 to 5 job, okay, get done with it. After that, if you have something pending at home, just get done with it. Then of course you can call any of your friends or maybe your cousins or any relatives, and you can like do two things with this. Like you can check on their health as well, and you can talk about what's going on and how they are dealing with it. Because see, everybody has something, some unique trick they are dealing with corona via. So definitely we can learn all these things from different people. Everybody has something to teach to us. So definitely keep talking to all of your family relatives, and do not just because you are not allowed to go out doesn't mean that you're not allowed to talk over the call. Of course you can do that, and do that more often as you were doing earlier, because of course earlier it wasn't required, because we can literally go and meet the other person whenever we wanted. But right now the this restriction is more and this freedom of going out is less. So try and keep talking to your friends, relatives, and try to you can play online games as well together, so you won't feel alone, you won't feel that people are not there. Of course there are so many games, there are so many things you can do together via video call. So try and keep doing that.
Yeah, definitely. And next question, and it is the last question, how to support someone who is suffering from this crisis.
Hmm.
Very important.
See, first of all, understand what sort of crisis they are facing. Is it again financial? Is it again in terms of health or what? If it is only in terms of mental health or physical health, it is not again compulsory or necessary that the person will be suffering from pandemic only. They might be suffering from some other, maybe anxiety, depression, thing, mental condition, or maybe some other physical thing which is getting even worse because of the pandemic situation. So first understand what sort of crisis the person is having, and then try to help accordingly. As I said, if the person is having financial crisis, then again you can along, like for example, if my friend is having crisis and I can donate some sort of amount, but that is not enough for that person. So again I can I can talk to my other friends as well. So as a group I can help the person. So of course small amount will definitely is going to be helpful for that person. But if you see that the person is not having financial crisis but some mental health condition they are suffering from, so definitely encourage them to go to a mental, not go but contact a mental health professional. So that, because sometimes people think, are what mental health professional can do in this situation, this is corona, so they cannot do anything. Trust me, it's nothing like that. Of course sometimes when you are speaking your fear out, sometimes when you are sharing your insecurities to somebody who's a professional, definitely you'll get some help, don't you think? I mean, think about it, of course, because sometimes your fears will be irrational. Sometimes you are completely healthy, very healthy, still you are getting scared, or still you might have sleep difficulties, or your appetite getting affected. So all these problems are not required. Basically you don't deserve to go through all those things. So definitely encourage these people to keep checking on their mental health. If somebody is having some physical health crisis, then definitely encouraging them to see a doctor. And if you have contacts with some good doctors, you can make the contact in between the patient and the doctor as well. So as I said, whatever the crisis and the type, according to the type of crisis, we need to keep helping people, because as I said, this is just not about me this time. This is about what I can do as a social person, as a community person, okay, to help the community, to help the society. So definitely these just like I can see so many people who are actually helping. I saw these news on television, in newspapers, that okay, some people, I think there is one man who actually sold his car just to provide oxygen cylinders. So that is something I rarely you will see. So if that person can alone do so much, of course he it was the amount in lakhs, where he basically donated all the amount, or maybe he used that amount to buy oxygen cylinders for people, because oxygen cylinders were actually getting reduced in number. Of course the scarcity was there. So definitely I would request each one of you that okay, try and help people as much as you can, because see, some people are vulnerable, some people are not. So if you think that you are among those who are stronger, okay, physically, mentally, then definitely society needs you. And if you see somebody who's vulnerable, definitely try and help these people, as like in any way. It's not like money, by with the help of money only you can help. No, no, no. Of course if you're encouraging somebody, if you are talking to somebody, if you are even listening to what the person is going through, or what is going on in their mind, of course this will be counted as help. Like just like how we are doing. Of course we cannot do anything in physically, but then of course providing that assurance, providing that positivity, or that certainty sometimes helps the person a lot. So definitely try and help in whatever way, in whatever possible way you can, and keep doing that. So yeah.
Okay, so that was the last question, and that was for the session. If we want to summarize the session, we can say that relaxation is the key. Second thing, even if we are working from
Balance.
home, we need to schedule our day. That is very important. And the third thing, that we can't alone go nowhere. We have to take everybody with us by providing mental support to someone who is in crisis. If you can help others, then do that. But yeah, that was it, and it was great. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your precious time to us and offering us insight to how to use the brain to fight the pandemic. And all the best for your future from Team Medusaic. And it was our pleasure to have you on this session, and thank you for understanding the technical glitches.
It's all right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sakshi, so much for inviting me today, because I really think that I hope basically that this session would help people. And yeah, I would like to tell each and everyone, if you still after going through this session or seeing this session, if you feel like you also need to get in touch with some mental health professional or a medical doctor, please do that. Do not hesitate, because this is the need, this is the urgent requirement or demand of the situation. So yeah.
seeking help is not going to make you weak. It is going to make you strong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
So that was it for this session. Have a great day, ma'am. Stay safe
You
and stay
too.
healthy.
You too. You
Okay.
too. Just take care. Okay. God bless you.